Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So let's get on to covering the multiple choice questions for prelims 2020, and today we are on to day 26th. So let's begin with question number 1, which is with regard to dead weight loss. So in the context of the economy, which of the following correctly describes the term dead weight loss? Alright, number 1, the reduction in profits of an organization due to perpetual burden of debt. Alright. Second is the loss of goodwill that proximately results from the failure of the goods to function as warranted. God knows what's been written over here. And this is not the answer, so do not lose sleep over understanding statement number 2. So statement C is cost to society created by market inefficiency due to the disequilibrium between demand and supply. Alright. And the last is loss of productive efficiency of labor due to higher burden of lifestyle diseases. So let's try reading it on your own and try to come up with the right answer, but either way, let's get on to the right answer now. So basically, C is our answer here. So dead weight loss means a loss which has not been compensated for, and as such it means, based on the assumptions or the possible options we have, it means the cost to society created by market inefficiency due to the disequilibrium between demand and supply. So अगर मार्केट डिमांड और मार्केट सप्लाई में इक्विलिब्रियम नहीं है तो वो मार्केट एफिशिएंसी कहलाएगा, और उसकी वजह से सोसाइटी को एक कॉस्ट होगी, एंड दैट वुड बी डेड वेट लॉस. Now what do we mean by this? So basically in the economy we know every agent seeks happiness, and in economics for the happiness we use term utility. So in the economy, market demand and market supply, when they are in equilibrium, then producer as well as the consumer both are into having maximum amount of utility or happiness. But when there is a disequilibrium, let's say demand is high but supply is low, it means prices would be more. It means consumers would not be getting how much they are demanding as such, right? So that would entail a dead weight loss, because we are not being able to have maximum utility of consumers as well as of producers. So this is the crude explanation. Just because dead weight loss was right there in the economic survey, and question can be asked onto this in a slightly different format as well. So we have understood what is the dead weight loss. So अगर market demand और market supply में equilibrium नहीं है, this is the one way where how dead weight loss can arise. But because we have understood its meaning, then अगर उधर कोई और option भी होगा तो आप पढ़ के just try to absorb the crux of those options and then try to locate the right answer. That's it. So let's get on to the next question now. We have wasted a lot of time here. So herein, just in little technical sense, what can be known as the dead weight, it's excess burden. So burden is either way or burden. Excess burden means dead weight loss. अभी ज़्यादा समझने का भी ज़रूरत नहीं है. It simply means excess burden. It is a measure of lost economic efficiency when the socially optimal quantity of a good or service is not produced. इधर थोड़ा सा समझने का ज़रूरत है. Socially optimal quantity means what? Let's say there is a factory that is making Coca-Cola. Now you do not want a very high amount of Coca-Cola because it's not good for your health. It's generating some sort of environmental concerns as well. But because it's in high demand, so you would be having more of that very commodity because demand is high. But then that higher output would not be socially optimal because it has gotten certain externalities in terms of environmental degradation, in terms of your water pollution and all that has not been accounted for. So that's an excess burden. So that's it. तो अभी क्या समझे? Dead weight loss is an excess burden. It is a measure of lost economic efficiency when the socially optimal quantity of a good or service is not produced, right? So just one more point here. Here we're talking about the demand and supply. It could be normal market demand and supply. So that too would entail a dead weight loss, because either consumers are not happy or producers are not happy. Now herein, even if the market demand and market supply are equal, but maybe that demand has not taken into consideration the social aspect in terms of are they really good for us, or maybe the supply has not taken the societal aspects again in terms of are that very product really good for us. So that's how even when socially optimal quantity of a good and service is not produced, that too would be giving us an excess burden, and that too would be counted as a dead weight loss. So I'm sure it's clear, and if it hasn't, then again do let me know in the comment section. We'll go through it once again, and it is really important because of it being occurring once time and again in the economic survey. Now this is a simple question, and let's get on to it now. The recent budget has proposed to set up a maritime museum at a site which was also an Indus Valley site. So the site is, answer is here Lothal. So let's not read the options, all of the options, so because we have paucity of time right now. So yes, maritime museum is going to be coming up in Lothal, because Lothal was indeed a Indus Valley site and a maritime one, because we have signs of there being a port here. So it's a port city. It was a port city, and right now it's in Gujarat. So the site is at Lothal, where the museum will come up as a Harappan site on the Saurashtra coast in Gujarat. अभी यूपीएससी का अजीब जैसा आदत हो गया है, थोड़ा सा कुछ भी चेंज कर देते हैं. सो इट्स द Saurashtra coast in Gujarat. That's it. And who would be the implementing agency? Important, Ministry of Shipping. Now this is quite different thing, that Ministry of Shipping would be the implementing agency, but maybe because it's a maritime port, so that could be a reason. And help would definitely be taken of Ministry of Culture plus the Archaeological Survey of India and the respective state governments, and it would be developed under the Sagarmala program. So all the details are important. Lothal is an Harappan site, was a Harappan site on the Saurashtra coast in Gujarat. And herein, under Sagarmala program, we would be implementing this project, and the implementing agency is the Ministry of Shipping, and we will be seeing the participation of ASI as well, that is under Ministry of Culture, and respective state governments too would be a stakeholder. So we are done. Let's get on to the third question. So which of the following factors increases the vulnerability of a non-banking फाइनेंशियल कंपनी? तो नॉन बैंकिंग फाइनेंशियल कंपनी का रिस्क कौन सी चीज़ बढ़ा सकती है? नंबर 1, अ कमर्शियल पेपर एज द मेजर सोर्स ऑफ फंडिंग. ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा पैसा कंपनी ने कमर्शियल पेपर से उठाया है. ए हायर प्रपोर्शन ऑफ कैश बोरोइंग, बहुत ज़्यादा पैसा एज ए कैश लोन में ले रखा है. एंड द थर्ड इज़ द हाई कैपिटल एडिकेसी रेशो. तो जो कैपिटल टू रिस्क वेटेड एसेट रेशो है, जिसको हम कैपिटल एडिकेसी रेशो बोलते हैं, वो बहुत ज़्यादा है. सो विच ऑफ द स्टेटमेंट्स अबव इज आर करेक्ट? 1 on 2 only, 2 and 3 only, 3 only, or all of these? So pause a bit, try to come up with the right answer. It's really, really simple question indeed. So either way, answer here is option number A, that only commercial paper and cash as the borrowing would be increasing the vulnerability of the MBFC, and not the high capital adequacy ratio. And why so? Because we know what can increase the vulnerability of a company or a bank or any entity: the amount of debt that the entity has undertaken. And debt forms here commercial paper, which is a form of short term debt instrument. तो बहुत जल्दी से पैसा वापस करना है इस कंपनी को. So that's how it would be increasing the vulnerability of the NBFC. And second is cash borrowing बहुत ज़्यादा कर रखी है. So either way, borrowing is a vulnerability or risk factor, so it has to be paid back. So although there is little bit of detail here, the cash borrowing increases the some special risk, but that is not needed for solving this MCQ, so do not get into that. So that's it. High proportion of cash borrowing, so increase the vulnerability or the risk. And now third point is important. What is capital adequacy ratio? यूपीएससी ने बस इतना ही पूछा था कि कैपिटल एडिकेसी रेशो वाज इन न्यूज़, इट इज़ रिलेटेड टू व्हाट. तो बैंक था, इन्वायरमेंट था, 2-3 और ऑप्शन थे, तो ऑब्वियसली इट इज़ रिलेटेड टू बैंक. एज सच व्हाट एग्जैक्टली इज इट? सो जस्ट द कैपिटल divided over what sort of risk weighted assets are there. So it basically is the capital in a very, very crude sense. So higher the capital a bank or NBFC is having, better it is for the NBFCs to sustain itself. So it would rather improve the sustainability of the non-banking financial company and would not be increasing its vulnerability. So statement number 3 is incorrect. Capital is a good for any entity. So that's it, we got our answer. And again, if we haven't gotten over it, do let me know in the comment section. We'll go through it once again, but as such we are done. So let's get on to the last question now. It's really, really long, so be patient. So consider the following statements about Biological Weapons Convention. Alright, number 1, it was introduced to complement the Geneva Protocol. That's it. United Nations Security Council, that is UNSC, investigates the matters related to its violation. Alright. India is a member state of it. So which of the statements given above is correct? So herein all these 3 statements are correct. Answer becomes B, and memorize these statements here itself. It's a Biological Weapon Convention introduced to complement the Geneva Protocol. UNSC investigates the matters related to its violation, and India is a member. Now we are supposed to go through all this explanation now. So basically, Biological Weapon Convention forms the foundation of the International Biological Arms Control Regime. Self-explanatory. When did it come into picture? This date is important. 1975. So when 22 states joined it, it actually got effectuated. That's it. 1975, important. This is about what? This is to ban the biological weapons. How? Definitely by prohibiting their development, production and stockpiling. Plus, not just of the biological agent, but also of any equipment that can aid its delivery. अब उसको भर के किधर किसी equipment के through ही फेंकेंगे, अगर वो equipment भी बना रहे हैं, that too is prohibited. That's it. And let's get on to little more details here, that indeed it was to complement the Geneva Protocol. We'll see what the Geneva Protocol is. This is important. It bans states parties from activities surrounding the possession of biological weapons and their components. So no party can possess the biological weapons per se, but if one is to have these things for this prophylactic, it means a preventive purpose, prevention from a disease sort of thing, and protective or other peaceful purposes. So this leeway is there, right? So this is quite self-explanatory. So we are done. Now this point is important, so please do have a little bit of emphasis over this. So that's it. Plus, if there is any sort of violation by any party, then UNSC would be investigating. That's it. Further, this is important that in 2018 the state of Palestine also became its member, and right now we are having 180 states as its members. Now let's get on to the Geneva Protocol. When did it come into picture? 1925. It is related to what? Prohibition of use of chemical and biological weapons in war. So not just biological but even chemicals. Now although it's not related, but herein the word written is in war. So this becomes little problematic, as in war means what. But again, let's ignore this part. I just ended up saying so. It's not needed for MCQ. That's it. The protocol was drawn up and signed at a conference which was held in Geneva under the auspices of the League of Nations. So when was the Geneva Protocol signed and when did it come into picture? 1928. Alright. And under whose auspices or domain? League of Nations, because we know after World War II we saw formation of League of Nations. So everything is important. Question can be formed in a very, very different format as well. That's why we have covered this thing extensively. So we are done for day 26, and again the same very request, if you are watching these videos and finding them helpful, then please do share them further. So that's it, we are done. Thank you so much for watching and goodbye.